Welcome back. Now, Co-operative Governance Minister Velenkosini Hlabisa is currently leading a review of South Africa's white paper on local government, which dates back to 1998. The goal here is to fix the ongoing problems at that level, including poor service delivery, money management issues, and leadership challenges at that sector, or at least at that level of government. Let's speak more about this with Lance Joel, who's the head of operations at the South African Local Government Association and joins us now live. Lance, it's lovely to have you on the program. Thanks very much indeed for making time to speak to us. Perhaps we can just begin by you helping us place the significance of going back to this white paper, which, as I mentioned, dates back to 1998. I mean, for one, why has it taken so long to finally kickstart a process like this?
Well, greetings, Ayanda, and also to your viewers. I think it's an important question to anchor the conversation that indeed in 1998, the white paper was released. Effectively, it laid the foundation for what was going to follow in terms of local government legislation, but also in terms of how municipalities would be structured and how they would respond to the needs of communities. So over the last, I would say in the first 15 years, since the release of the 1998 white paper, much has been done to put in place the legislation, to ensure that there's implementation of that legislation, ensure that the structures and processes in local government, in municipalities themselves are put in place, and allow an opportunity for the leadership at the local government level, both political and administrative, to implement that legislative framework. So we've passed that part of putting the necessary laws in place. And now we are at a moment where we can ask the question, 27 years since the release of that white paper, are the assumptions made at the time still holding water? If not, what needs to change for us to also change the form and shape, but also the performance of municipalities themselves? And that's why we are having this particular conversations around reviewing those commitments that were made almost 27 years ago.
One of those main assumptions that the minister reckons perhaps needs to be revisited is how much councillors are being paid. In fact, he used the words that councillors are being paid peanuts, and that's why he reckons in many instances they spend a lot of time paying lip service as opposed to getting down to doing the job. Is that an accurate reading, do you reckon, of the problem, given your own experience?
Well, as SALGA, we have very strong views on the matter because we have been able to compare the remuneration of public office bearers at national, provincial, and the local government level. And it is quite clear that councils are not appropriately remunerated, comparatively speaking, with other public office bearers. But also, we are not recognizing the reality that councillors are on the ground at the face of government, and in most instances have to respond to issues that are not only local government relevant, but also relates to national and local government. It's an area we do agree with, and this work that has been done in that regard.
Let me apologize to our viewers, Lance. Our connection to you doesn't seem to be the greatest. Perhaps I'll ask just one parting question as we continue watching developments from Midrand. What to you would be a marker that this process was actually successful? And I'm only asking this question because often I think our focus is a bit scattered, given just how widespread the problems are. But from your vantage point, I mean, if there was a takeaway from this particular process today, what should that be?
Well, as SALGA, we will, of course, make our submissions, and we are going to focus very much on the governance in municipalities, the assumptions around the funding of local government itself, and then lastly, on looking at improvements on the service delivery front. We do believe that whilst much progress has been made by municipalities to extend services to communities, more needs to be done to ensure that those services are delivered on a sustainable basis. So those would be areas we would focus on: strengthening the political arm, strengthening the administrative arm, ensuring there's appropriate funding of the sector, and then lastly is ensuring that we introduce improvements around sustainable service delivery.
All right, Lance Joel, thanks very much indeed for giving us your take. And as they say, from your lips to God's ears, hopefully there's material change on the other side of these discussions. Lance Joel is the head of operations with the South African Local Government Association.